Hi everyone, welcome to another round of Yoga at Home with Kate. This week we are doing a special lot of yoga and I'm going to be bringing a lot more of this to you over the coming months, but it's yoga for roller derby players. I personally love roller derby. I played roller derby for years. I was a jammer. My name was K-Tasstrophie and I jammed with the Brisbane City Rollers. Unfortunately, I injured myself really well twice. I didn't feel great the first time, so I went back and did it a second. Gotta nail it every time. And unfortunately, that was the end of my time in roller derby, but I still treasure them. And I know how hard you all work, particularly my jammer friends. And we all know when you're jamming, it's about apex jumping, 1-foot skating, lots of tricky weaving, diving, ducking, all these really amazing brilliant things that you do whilst getting smashed by those blockers. So let's do some yoga to strengthen up our ankles, our calves, our knees, because I find a lot of injuries with jammers are usually broken ankles, torn tendons, things like that, where we just didn't have enough mobility and strength in certain joints. They've taken a really bad hit and there they go. And that can be the end of your roller derby career. So let's stop that from happening. So today, all you're gonna need 2 yoga blocks if you have them, or cans of soup or anything like that. That's going to be great for you. Always want to make sure that you can bring the ground to you. So I'm going to have my yoga blocks there at the ready. There's going to be a couple poses coming up that you most likely, if you're new to yoga, you're going to want your blocks or something to balance on just available to you. Maybe even it's a stool from around the home that you can just have in front of your mat. So to kick it off, let's start at the top of our mat and let's just take a nice grounding breath and start to feel where the balance is in our feet. Close down the eyes and just find your balance through your feet. Are you a little bit lopsided today? Maybe it's been a bit of a long day. Maybe you've been wearing heels or sandals or something that hasn't really made the natural body feel 100% balanced, and we can undo all that. That is perfect. Now, inhale, raising arms to the sky, high mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, bending at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, raising our head just in line, one in 90-degree angle with the ground. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the ground, stepping the right foot, then the left foot back to high plank. This is when we're going to start turning everything on. Core, butt, legs, everything. This is where we're pushing through the hands, turning everything on. Inhale, pushing through the hands, raising hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, raising right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Here, let's make sure our hips aren't opening to the world. We want to keep them closed. We used to call it opening the buffet. Keep your buffet closed, everybody. Now, bending right knee, opening through the hip, 3-legged dog with a bent knee, really opening the hip. Inhale, bringing knee to chest, tiger curl, holding. On the next round of breath, stepping right leg through to our low lunge, bringing left knee to the ground. Now, on the inhale, raising hands to the sky, low lunge. Exhale, arrowhead. Stretching our arms back behind as we fold over the right thigh. Inhale, hands to sky, high crescent lunge. Start activating, pulling these legs together, pulling up through the core. This is when we start our balance work, because we know balance is all about core, legs, keeping things together. The more we flop out, the less balance we have. So let's tie it all together. Hands to the sky, low lunge, stretching through the left hip flexor. Exhale, bending over right leg, stretching arms back, arrowhead. One more round here. Hands to the sky, low lunge. Exhale, arrowhead. Inhale, hands to the sky, low lunge, ready for your transition. Now on the exhale, straightening through the right leg as we come back to runner's lunge, bending over right leg, arrowhead, arms over runner's lunge. Now you're going to find your balance is all starting to kick in here. We want this core on, everything on. Inhale, transition, low lunge, hands to the sky. Exhale, runner's lunge, arrowhead. Maybe this time you want to go for a bind, wrapping the arms around the lower back. Inhale, hands to the sky, low lunge. Planting the hands to the ground, untucking the left back foot, so we push through that right knee. Left knee, straightening through the left. As we transition to high crescent lunge. Dropping through the knee. Nice bend here. Left knee tap to ground. Nice and slow. Raising to the sky. Hands to the ground, stepping right foot back to plank. Bending at the knees, spreading the knees wide, pushing back through the hands, child's pose. 3 rounds of breath here. Deep inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, untucking the toes, pushing through the hands, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bending at the knee, open that hip, keeping shoulders squared off. Inhale, tiger curl, left knee to chest as we come all that weight over our hands. So we step that foot through, low lunge on the left, dropping right knee to the ground. You're going to find you might want to have your foot tucked, untucked, choose your own adventure. It really depends what you favor. I like my foot flat, it gives me a bit more balance. Inhale, raising hands to the sky, low lunge. Exhale, arrowhead, stretching those hands back behind the body. Inhale, hands to the sky, stretching and opening that right hip flexor. Exhale, arrowhead. One more round. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, arrowhead. Inhale, hands to the sky. Transitioning, runner's lunge, straightening through the left leg. So we balance back, arrowhead over runner's lunge. Inhale, pushing through that right thigh, raising hands to the ceiling, low lunge. As we transition back to runner's lunge, arrowhead. Now maybe you want to do a bind again around the lower back. So we bend over that left knee. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, arrowhead. Final inhale, lower lunge. Untucking the right leg, pushing through those thighs, raising to high crescent lunge. Maybe a slight back bend here through the thoracic. If you want to do a back bend here, that's in your practice. Hands to the sky, straightening through that spine. And then we bend from the top of the back, not the lower back, never crunching at the lower back. Exhale, hands to the ground, stepping left foot back, high plank, bending at the knees, child's pose. Pushing through the hands, downward facing dog. Raising right leg to the ceiling, 3-legged dog. Stepping right foot through, high crescent lunge. We're picking up the pace here. Pushing through those legs, finding our high crescent lunge. Exhale, arrowhead. Stretching those arms back, keeping a gap between thigh and belly. Now we're going to launch into our warrior 3. Pushing off this back left leg, powering through the right. We're going to be raising that leg off the ground, warrior 3 transition. This is where if you want your blocks, grabbing them now. We want to have our chest nice and open. And this back leg is where our strength is, pushing through there. Maybe if it's in your practice, hands to heart center, or raising arms forward, or staying back in your arrowhead variation, up to you. Inhale, stork pose, bringing the left knee to the chest. Raising those hands to the ceiling. This is all active here. Right now you're going to feel micro corrections happening in that right ankle and foot right now. Next breath, stretching through, figure 4, left leg over the right thigh. So we bend into our figure 4 to open that hip. Lots of micro corrections happening in that ankle. Go with the wobble, embrace your wobble. Hands to heart center as we sit a little further. You're doing amazing. Stick with me here. Embrace that wobble. I did a lot of these last night, so I'm feeling it today. One more round of breath now. Inhale, hands to the sky, returning to stork, bending that knee towards the chest. Now opening that left hip, transitioning to our tree pose. Here you might want to use your hand to give you a bit more height as we bring the left foot to the inside of the right. Take a moment to rest. Maybe your foot is a little lower down the leg, maybe it's on the calf, the foot, or maybe it's just here. That's totally fine. Wherever feels better for you. Inhale, stork pose, transition, knee back towards chest, hands towards the sky. As we transition, warrior three with arrowhead, powering through, stretching those arms back. As we lower that left foot to the ground, higher crescent lunge, hands to heart center as we stretch through the chest and we do our back bend if you choose. Core on, everything tucked in. Back to center, hands to the ground, high plank, pushing through the hands, downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg to the sky. Three-legged dog, opening through that hip. Inhale, knee to chest, tiger curl as we step that left foot forward, high crescent lunge on the left. Exhale, arrowhead, stretching through the fingers. Inhale as we step forward into our warrior three transition. Now imagine I have my hand behind your back foot. You are kicking me towards that back wall. Hands to heart center as we transition through stork pose, bringing right knee to chest. Stay here for a rest for a moment. Bending at the knee, transition to figure four, wrapping that right ankle over left thigh as we sit into our figure four. Maybe hands to heart center. Stay for one round of breath. Lots of micro corrections happening in that left ankle. My left ankle is stronger than my right. You're going to find that one side feels a million times better than the other. And that's why in yoga it's so beautiful, because we do both sides of the body. You never just get to pick your favorite. Inhale, raising hands to the sky, stork transition. Preparing as we go back through our warrior three with arrowhead. Raising right foot, lowering right foot to the ground, transition, high crescent lunge. Hands to heart center, raising our chest to the sky, back bend. Exhale, hands to the ground, stepping back into plank, bending at the knees, and taking those hips back to the back of the mat, child's pose. And you did it. Well done, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. This one can be done a couple times in a row, or you might want to do it slower, longer, up to you. Choose your own adventure, but enjoy. You've just done yoga with Kate. See you soon.